Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. I got a nice one for you today. Let's go. Rightism 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right Thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. Excuse me. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where I'm going with this? Let's get there together. I do my part, you do yours. I got you. I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and always. To my yacht, be true. We're back in the book. I'm back to teaching meditation concepts. You can't master oneself without practicing the art of meditation. So this is an important part of self-mastery. So I put it in there for that reason. Let's get on to this one. Right thinkers, let's talk about what is the goal of meditation. We just went over what is meditation. I hope I explained it to you enough that you understand it. Now I'm going to tell you what's the goal of meditation. So let's go. I'm about to teach. Meditation, again, may be thought of or defined as the practice of mental exercise, aka right thinking, and spiritual disciplines to enable you, the meditator, to what? Achieve control over one's mind. Well, I got control of my mind. Yeah, there you go. Run off at the gyms, not knowing what you're talking about. The idea is to know what you're talking about before it comes out your mouth. That's how you control the mind. When you're able to do that, you won't be spouting off like most people do out of ignorance. So, with knowledge and control over your mind, you'll be able to handle that thing in your mouth called a tongue. Now, it will enable you, the meditator, to achieve control over said mind. Specifically, what? To stop the jibber jabber and the vibrations of the mind due to unwanted and ignorant thoughts and imaginations. We have two things: the brain remembers memory and it imagines. It can go forward, it can go backwards. Your choice. But if you ain't in control of it, therein lies the problem. Self mastery meaning controlling this thing up in our head, the most sophisticated machinery known to man. And our ancients had the same thing. They didn't have no more technology than we did. They just used this thing up here better than we do now. That's what I'm looking at. So wait a minute. They didn't have no. They just used it better. That's all. So let's talk about conscious. Wait a minute. Let me finish that. Wait a minute. Now, the whole thing about having control of negative vibration, aka bad thoughts and unwanted thoughts, based on, I'm about to break that down for you now. Consciousness refers to what? Awareness of being alive and having what? An identity. That's your ego. Your identity is said ego. Yes, your lower nature. That's who you identify with, which is fine. Just can't live off it. It is this characteristic which separates, you ready? Humans from the animal kingdom. What you mean? The first three levels of the chakras is basically nature, like animals. Your fight or flight, survival mode, and regeneration. That's what animals do. They don't have a conscience. They don't have empathy, compassion, speak Makaru. They can't wake up and become conscious of themselves. That's why. And animals cannot, again, become aware of their own existence. A dog don't care. He know what he is instinctively. That's fine. For a dog, we as humans, we know as ourselves instinctively to be what? Our lower nature. So that's instinctive and that's fine. But that's why we as humans can raise our consciousness to what? Know thyself. And ponder the question. Animals can't question their existence or ponder the question such as, who am I? You never see an animal question who they are. Where am I going in life? They don't really care. I have cats. I got two of them. The first one came home. He was there one day. When the other cat come in, the other cat knew his place. He won't eat. He won't do nothing until the other cat do his thing. He showed him how to use the bathroom, the cat litter box. He showed him. I seen him walking around and he showed him. I'm like, okay. And it's been that way since they've been 2 years old now, and they still know their place. So they don't push and buck. They just go along. Simple. But we as human beings, we ask questions. Where do I come from? Okay. Question like that. Who am I? But animals, they can't write books on history or create elaborate systems of social history based on what? Ancestry information. That's what I get my knowledge from, our ancestors, not modern man. Sorry about that. But consciousness expresses itself in three modes. Been there before, I'm breaking it down to you again. These are waking. Right now, pinch yourself, you're awake. That's the waking state. Dream state. The body goes into rest and the eyes and the senses shut down, but the brain's still working. Okay? You dreaming, and in that dream state, that's where you go into that other place, the other realm, the astral realm, where the body don't count, but the mind go anywhere it wants. Now you got what they call the dreamless deep sleep state. Okay, that's when you wake up so refreshed and feel so good. Why? Because you went deep, but you don't even remember it. Why? Because you wasn't aware of it. That's the state that they understand that when you go there, that's the end of the state. You're preparing for that. If you pass judgment, you go there when nothing happens, but you be so restful, so peaceful. That's another state. And we go there from time to time and to let you know it's available to you. Okay? However, it's always a however, ordinary human life is only partially conscious. That means remember that ancients say that when you go to sleep, that's the real world. That's the astral world, is the real world. And if you philosophically look at it, they got a good point. Philosophical principle. If it makes sense, I got to give it the nod. I'm just saying. Some people live in that dream world. Why? When they wake up from that dream, they still live in that state of mind. See where I'm going with that? But if you're conscious and you're lucid, that state of mind, you welcome it. Why? Because you're comfortable there. A lot of people are not comfortable in the dream world. Why? They freak out. Okay. Because they not lucid. They're not conscious. They're only partially conscious. They think this time that they woke, that's consciousness. Contraire, mon frere. That's what they want you to know. Our ancients knew that. Native Americans said, go to sleep. 1/3 of your life, They say 8 hours. I don't do 8 hours no more. But 1/3 of 24 hours a day, you spend that what? Sleep. Why? Preparation for what? Death. Simple as that. But when you are driving, I used this analogy before, you are awake, okay, or you walking. You sometimes what? Lose track of the present moment. Your mind drift. The devil says drifting is a good thing. Why? Because it takes your focus on what you're doing, and he's right. Why? This point right here proven to you right here. When you drift, you sort of just, go through the motion. But through muscle memory and consciousness, what's this? You lose track of the present moment, and all of a sudden, you either arrive at your destination without having been conscious or aware of what you on the road, which you have just traveled. The place you, everybody done it. I can walk and chew gum. The phrase is, can you walk and chew gum? A computer, because it is a computer, it can do but one function at a time. Our brain, which is highly technical and advanced, I can do at least excuse me. Well, I can do three things at one time. I'm in my car. I got my radio CD playing, my old school music. I got my phone playing, whatever I want to hear, and I'm having a conversation. And I'm still thinking about other stuff. So that's pretty much four functions. My teacher said he can perform 14 functions at the same time. So I understand that. But your mind is a hell of a machine. You can't break it. You can't open. No, it won't break. Use it. It's extraordinary. And you should use it and understand it. Most people only use 10%, and that's genius of their brain capacity. You got a whole lot of room to just have your way. In your mind, watch this. Your mind went into what they call automatic mode of consciousness, off of memory. We live off of memory. You're going to do today pretty much what you did yesterday with a few slight deviations. When you have a pattern in life, that's okay. That's fine. That's what you're built for. But this automatic mode of consciousness represents, you ready? A temporary withdrawal of consciousness. Why? Because you wasn't totally aware of what you was actually doing. You doing it, but you wasn't there. Understand that? Daydreaming, brain freeze, whatever you want to call it. They got words for that, but we got words that we use. Now, this automatic mode of consciousness, okay, is a state, is similar to what? A date, again, there we go, daydream. A dream-like musing or a fantasy. You driving, but you think about something totally different than driving. But you driving, you on the road, but your mind is somewhere else. All of a sudden, you where you going. Again, that's it. And this form of existence is what people consider as what? Normal, everyday waking consciousness. It is what people consider to be what? The extent of the human capacity to what? Experience or be conscious. Yeah, we are able to do one thing and think something else. Why? That's walking and chewing gum. Okay, I can walk and chew gum at the same time. That means you performing two functions at once. Some people can only either walk or chew gum. They can't do both. That's fine. Computers can't. You just a one-way Charlie. That's all. Now, I wasn't gonna read that. I'm gonna skip this because it's a flow. I can guess I'm gonna try to make it work out, but I can put it to a lesson and make it work. The normal state of human consciousness cannot be considered as whole or complete. Why? Because if it was, there would be no experience of what? Mind, mental lapse, or gaps in consciousness. We just said drifting. That, well, doing something and not being aware of it. If you was totally control of the mind, you wouldn't have that problem. So everybody think it's normal. So in other words, every instant of consciousness would be accounted for. Your mystics, your Buddhists, they understand that. I'm getting better at it, so I'm starting to fully understand it. Wow, you'll see. And there would be what? No trace like states, wherein one loses what? Track of time or awareness of what's going on right then and there. Awareness of what? One's own activity, even as they are being performed. Some people get so caught up in what they're doing, they lose track of time. Nothing else matters. That's focus. That's fine. But you don't want to be that point where you don't just zone out. Okay, that's taking it to another level. Some people live that level. When you get high, when you're under the influence, you're gonna zone to another level. Why? That's called an altered state. The mind don't mind. The mind don't care. It's gonna deal with it. So whatever you do, that's what it's gonna deal with. But that's what it is. But when you go into that trance-like state, you're not really thinking. You just you just going on with the flow. And watch this. When one loses track of time and of awareness of one's own activity, even while they're performing it, in the times of trance or this lapse of full awareness or consciousness is not present. Otherwise, what happened? It would be impossible to not be aware of the passage of time while engaged in various activities. That means you're always focused, you're always aware of your surroundings, what you're doing, where you're at. Okay. When I go up north, I live in the suburbs. When I go back up north, I got to remember, come aware where you at, who you dealing with. Okay, so it's different. Trust me. But this trance-like state, the trance here, understand, trance should be differentiated from what? From the religious or mystical form of trance. Meaning when that music is playing, you get the feeling good, you get the good, they're going to that, that religion. Okay, this is not that. Like that state which induce what? Through meditation. When you sit and meditate, what do God say? What? Still yourself. And what? Know that I am God. The only way you're going to commute with Him is when you do just that. Still yourself. That's what meditation is for. For you to stop and pay attention and commune with your higher self. That's between you and Him. Everybody. Excuse me. As used above, it refers to what? The condition of being so lost in solitary thought as to what? Be unaware of one's surroundings. Again, don't get caught up in what are you doing? Forget everything else. It may be further characterized as what? As stunned or bewildered condition, a fog, a stupor, the befuddlement, dazed, muddled state of mind. All those is signifying how they explain what they went through. Again, losing focus and losing consciousness or your awareness of what your surroundings, not you, but your surroundings. You got to stay focused on those things too. Now, where we at? Okay, now most everyone has experienced this condition for themselves at one point or another in life. Simple. What most people consider to be awake, because they done woke up from sleep, state of mind in which life is lived, is in what? Reality only a fraction of the total potential consciousness which a human being can actually experience. You're only conscious of your waking state. When you go to sleep, you're no longer conscious, so you don't know what's going on. But in your mind, you're there, but you ain't even aware of that. In the deep sleep, you can forget that. So your mind's constantly agitated, and you're never getting the full understanding of the full use of your mind. Why? You don't know how. Like having a car, it can go 100 miles an hour, but you keep driving 10, 20 minutes. I ain't going that fast. I'm good. You have the capability to go far beyond your normal, ordinary thinking capacity, and meditation will help you with that. At that note, as you can clock, I'm in the lesson here. I'll be right back with the other part. I got it's two-parter here, but it's good information. Hope you're enjoying it. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you passed away. I'll be back with more what the goal of meditation is for.